Emmerdale is preparing to revisit an earlier deal between Cain and Charity Dingle as her gripping baby storyline continues, with Charity hiding a major secret from her loved ones. Charity previously agreed to act as a surrogate for her granddaughter Sarah Sugden, who has since married Jacob. In a shocking moment on the ITV soap, Charity unexpectedly gave birth to baby Layla in a hospital lift, with Mackenzie Boyd and Ross Barton present. But the baby is not actually Sarah and Jacob's child. Instead, she is the daughter of Charity and Ross after they spent a night together. This hidden encounter, along with the truth about Layla's real parentage, is only known by the two people involved. Before Layla was born, Charity had a conversation with Cain, during which he gave her a St. Christopher necklace. He promised that he would always be there for her whenever she needed support, although that vow may be hard to uphold due to her secret. At the same time, the scheming Dr. Caitlin Todd, who has a personal issue with Jacob, starts blackmailing Charity after discovering the truth she's been concealing. It now appears certain that the secret will come to light eventually, putting Cain's promise in jeopardy. When the truth about the baby is revealed, she will turn to Cain, explained Jeff Hordley, who plays the character. I think it would be great to see him stand by her and offer his support. I'd really like that outcome. He also complimented his co-star Katie Hill, saying, "Katie has been amazing. In that scene where the focus was on Cain before we both appeared at the end, she delivered a fantastic performance." He added, "Throughout this storyline, she has proven herself to be a highly skilled young actress and has been wonderful to work alongside." Even though Charlie Webb is no longer part of the show, Katie has done an excellent job stepping into that role. The dynamic has changed slightly, but there are still similarities, and her character can also help Cain express himself more. He continued, "We share a long history on the show, and although I haven't watched that particular episode yet, I've heard very positive things. I'm glad he made that promise." While Cain pledged to stand by Charity, he has also developed a strong connection with Sarah, who supported him through his cancer diagnosis. Following several emotional scenes, Hordley once again praised Katie Hill for her portrayal of Sarah. Emmerdale delivered an unexpected twist involving Cain Dingle, as a gripping courtroom storyline concluded with 3 different verdicts, while Bear Wolf gave evidence in a last-ditch attempt to win his freedom. Bear is standing trial for the killing of Ray Walters, while Paddy and Dylan Penders are also accused of interfering with justice. Earlier in the week, multiple witnesses were called to testify, but everything shifted when Simo delivered a shocking statement. As Bear's situation grew more uncertain, his solicitor insisted that putting him on the witness stand was their only option, and Paddy reluctantly agreed, despite fearing Bear might not cope. In tonight's ITV episode, Bear took the stand and gave an emotional account, tearfully describing the abuse he endured from Ray and his adoptive mother, Celia Daniels. The prosecution argued that Bear murdered Ray in order to seize control of his criminal empire, as Bear became visibly distressed while his character was aggressively challenged. After the prosecution finished presenting their case, the judge adjourned proceedings so the jury could deliberate. When the jury returned, they announced that 2 defendants were not guilty, while a third, whose identity was initially unclear, was found guilty. It was soon revealed that Dylan was among those cleared of all charges, with Paddy encouraging him to live life now that he was free. Meanwhile, villagers discussed the outcome, with April expressing sadness that one person had been convicted. During a conversation between Paddy and Bear, it emerged that Paddy was the one found guilty, although he received a suspended 12-month sentence. Paddy admitted he felt a sense of freedom, but Bear remained doubtful. Later, at Anya's graveside, Bear delivered a heartfelt speech about the harsh realities of modern slavery and thanked Paddy, Dylan, and April for rescuing him from his month-long suffering. Although Bear and Dylan have regained their freedom, Paddy now faces the lasting consequences of a criminal conviction. While he may avoid prison time, questions remain about how this will impact his future as a vet. Emmerdale has revealed what lies ahead for Paddy Kirk on the ITV soap following the jury's final decision. At the beginning of the week, the show aired the first episode covering the sentencing of Bear, Paddy, and Dylan after the death of Ray Walters. It was a highly emotional time for all three, as they tried to highlight just how vulnerable Bear had been. Appearing on Good Morning Britain before tonight's episode, Dominic Brunt hinted, "You have to let the law follow its path. You need to trust the legal system, don't you? You have to. Otherwise, it wouldn't work for us in Emmerdale because the graveyard is already full. You can't just go around killing people." Kate Garraway responded by saying, "As long as this doesn't mean the end of Dominic as Paddy, because we love seeing you on the show." Dominic then replied, "Well, I've got a bit of time off coming up, so I can't reveal what happens." Later that evening, viewers finally witnessed the outcome for Paddy, Bear, and Dylan. The jury declared one person guilty, while clearing the other two of all charges. Although many expected Bear to be convicted, it was actually Paddy who was found guilty and handed a 12-month suspended sentence, which will be carried out over 2 years. Despite the guilty verdict, Paddy will remain in the village and serve his sentence there, much to the relief of fans who feared he might be written out of the ITV soap. Speaking with Bear after the trial, Paddy reflected, "A man lost his life, and even though he was cruel and evil, someone still had to take responsibility." In upcoming episodes, at the depot, Bear and Mandy, now both working there, join the team as Jai introduces a productivity chart challenge, which Bear ends up winning. However, Jai's comments unintentionally trigger a painful memory from Bear's time at the farm. Later, overwhelmed by anxiety and reminders of his past punishment, Bear lashes out at Mandy and Kerry. He also reacts nervously when Jai raises his voice. Mandy and Kerry explain to Jai that Bear is dealing with trauma, leading Jai to change his tone and offer reassurance instead. Emmerdale reveals the outcome of 3 separate verdicts in its ITVX episode, as Bear Wolf, Paddy Dingle, and Dylan Penders finally learn their fates. Tonight's episode brings the dramatic conclusion of the Ray Walters murder trial, with the trio discovering whether they will face prison sentences. Since their involvement in Ray's death earlier this year, all 3 have been consumed by fear, but Tuesday's episode finally delivers the jury's decision. On the final day in court, Bear's counsellor Lucy provides compelling expert evidence based on her sessions with him. Lucy firmly states that Bear displayed clear signs of being manipulated by Ray and Celia Daniels, despite the prosecution trying to portray him as a hidden partner in their crimes. Bear is then called to testify himself in a last attempt to strengthen his defence. Although the original strategy was to keep him off the stand, the worsening case forces the team to take a risk. Clearly anxious, Bear steps forward to give his evidence, but the question remains whether his testimony will influence the jury's decision. In a surprising turn, the jury's verdict shows they judged each of the defendants in very different ways. 2 individuals are cleared of all charges, while the third is found guilty. Although the exact identities remain under wraps until the ITV1 broadcast, the episode is already available to stream on ITVX and YouTube, revealing all outcomes. Joshua Richards, who portrays Bear, previously hinted, "I think he's ready to spend the rest of his life behind bars. He doesn't believe he has any chance of avoiding it." He continued, "He carries a misplaced sense of guilt and feels he deserves punishment because he took someone's life. So in his mind, prison is inevitable. He's already expressed that, and he enters the trial with no hope or optimism. He's thinking, this is it. I'll face the consequences and serve my time. But is that really how it ends? Emmerdale airs on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available for streaming on ITVX.